question that comes up quite often is, how do I know when my furnace needs to be serviced? And the answer to that question is, every season you should have your furnace checked. There's adjustments that can be made. We check the safety switches. We check the heat exchanger. These are all safety concerns that if you aren't checking these regularly, you could have a problem in the coldest day of the year, and then you may have a hard time finding someone to come out and help you. But it's a good service to have performed. We check the gas pressure, make sure that everything's adjusted properly, and then we also clean your system, which will take care of your motors and the longevity of your unit. The funniest plumbing story that I can remember is an experience with another plumber, and we were actually at a job cleaning the drain line, and this drain line was underneath a table at a restaurant, and as he climbed underneath, he was feeding the snake down the drain line, and he got the snake caught up in his hair as he was feeding it down, so it started to pull the hair out of the top of his head. Anyways, we had a pretty good laugh about that for quite a while after that experience, but that's one of the funniest experiences I've had. A funny heating story. I went to a house that was in Sundance, and I was crawling underneath the house to check their heat vents. They were having some problems with not getting enough heat into their house, and as I was crawling under there, I came face to face with a raccoon that was actually the cause of the problem, but was actually eating through their heat vents. So all their heat was going underneath the house instead of out the vents. But as I wrestled with the raccoon and got him out of there, it was quite the experience, because I'd never been that close to a raccoon before, and they're not that friendly. And another heating related event that I've experienced is occasionally we'll get a call where they're not getting any heat, and the problem is that their pressure switch on their inducer isn't going off. As we pulled the inducer apart, we found that there had been a snake that had crawled down into the inducer and plugged the inducer up. So that was another experience that I've had that was kind of interesting, but kind of frightening at the same time. So, how does a person pick the best service available? There's a few things to look for as far as service companies out there, and there's ways to choose those companies before you even have them come to your house. One of the ways is to actually have an experience with someone else that has used that company, as far as a testimonial or a referral basis. But that doesn't always mean that you're going to have the best experience with that company yourself. So the best way to do that is to research it out for yourself and find a company that is licensed and insured. The biggest thing to remember, the biggest risk that you have with your heating and cooling system is making sure that your filter is changed as often as it needs to be. This is a common problem that we have. A lot of times we'll go out to a house and the only problem that they have is that their filter is plugged. This can cause several problems in your furnace and your air conditioning, but your furnace will actually overheat as it runs, and as that furnace overheats, that heat exchanger tends to expand more often than it should, which will cause cracks in your heat exchanger. This allows carbon monoxide into your home, and forces it through your home because the blower is pushing it across. So a thorough inspection of your heat exchanger is not a bad thing to have done during your tune-up every year, just to make sure that everything's on the up and up. But as far as your furnace filters generally say 3 months on your 1-inch furnace filter, but I always recommend that you change your furnace filter every month, just to keep it running the way that you would have it. This will keep your air conditioning from freezing up. This will keep you from overheating your furnace, and it's just an overall good way to maintain your furnace. The Boy Scout guarantee is that we'll come out and we'll take care of you, service the equipment that needs to be done. If we don't leave your house better than we found it, then we'll actually have a company come out and clean your carpets for free.